and Philip, our final round 0 matchup.
Philip's gonna need some peace help.
Philip is in a bad spot right now, and he is behind on points. 482,000. He's in good position, but that is a poor placement, and that could avalanche very quickly.
Your timing you just need a second to readjust.
This could prove costly right here. The worst possible moment for a misdrop, right at the transition there. But he's playing well, yes!
Nice!
The Hyper Jolt! Oh, the Hyper Jolt in full effect!
So swag.
Look at that!
Oh!
That is some swaggy Tetris right there, but not enough! And it'll be Philip who pushes it. Oh, unfortunately, you can see it on his face. Oh, no! And that might be it.
Get it over. My gosh. Come on, get it over.
Oh, he almost had it there, but that'll be it. Oh, Sharky is out.
Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome you to a very hype match, or should I say a hype rematch, because that's exactly what we're going to have. Both of these players were at CTWC 2019. They met each other in the round of 0 matchup, and who else would I be talking other than Sharky and Microblizz. Now, here's the story of how their matchup at CTWC 2019 when Sharky took game 1 due to an unfortunate early top out by Microblizz. However, Microblizz didn't let that stop him and came right back in game 2, taking it into the transition after Sharky made a couple of misdrops early on. And then for game 3, which decided who moved on to the top 32 matchup, Microblizz was up by 100,000 points, but Sharky kept on nicking away at that lead up until they were both neck and neck, almost the exact same score. But then Sharky made an unfortunate misdrop, and that misdrop caused him to top out, allowing his tournament to be over and Microblizz to advance to further on their tournament. And now we see they play each other here again, this time in a best of 5 format as opposed to a best of 3. Now here's a little bit about both players. Microblizz is a guideline player going classic, known for his modern commentary as well as for a former world record holder that he had for the 40-line sprint. He's a max out player with currently 3 max outs, if I'm not mistaken, and has beat exceptional players like Jeff, the 2016 CTWC finalist, and has exceptional showing up against Tetris masters like Green Tea, scoring in his first game up against him 800k right off the bat. Now we have Sharky, who was voted as the Hard Drop 2019 Rookie of the Year, is also a max out player who in fact has a 1-off 1.1, and at the current time of this matchup had 10 max outs. He is also a classic Tetris commentator and has had some exceptional showings up against some Tetris masters in his own right, including Harry Hong, Quaid, and Josh Tolles. Now both of these players are going to be matched up against each other, and we have some exciting Tetris in store. So without further ado, let's go ahead and count them down. Let's go ahead and count them down. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Now, unlike what it was at CTWC, this is not a best of 3 match. This is a best of 5, meaning we have the potential to see 5 games of some questionably awesome Tetris here. And we already got our start from Microblizz. Sharky off to kind of a rough start here, not able to really score any Tetrises early on. Meanwhile, Microblizz is building up very cleanly for his Tetris, lovely as Tetris ready, and Microblizz knocks down the first Tetris of the game. Tetrises on level 18, as displayed by Microblizz, are worth 22,800 points. So definitely scoring Tetrises is the most efficient way to get your points up there, and the winner is not who makes it to the furthest level, but by score, just like how it generally is. Anyways, Microblizz already off to 2 Tetrises and knocks down the third one, bringing him up to 68,000. Is maintaining 100% Tetris rate so far. Sharky follows suit, however he is already 4 lines in the lead and is down by roughly 2 Tetrises. Could potentially be more if Microblizz continues to score at such a high Tetris rate. Now Sharky is going to be ahead in lines, meaning that the score disparity could be greater or less than it actually seems. As Sharky is a push down player, and since he pushes down, that means more pieces fall on the board, and since more pieces fall on the board, inherently more lines will get cleared. And that's why Sharky will be in the lead for a majority of these games that we have going on here today. Anyways, Microblizz 136,000 burns his first line and knocks down a Tetris shortly after, goes up to 160,000. Now for competitive Tetris, for competitive Classic at least, you're generally looking for anywhere from like 450 to 500 plus K transition. Currently, Microblizz is on pace for a 600K transition, which means they only have to score roughly around 10 Tetrises to reach a max out in the post. So we have the potential to see some exceptional transition scores from Microblizz. Sharky, not necessarily too far behind, but doesn't have the pacing that Microblizz has. In fact, Microblizz is at 200,000 at 38 lines. Sharky is at 179. Knocks out on Tetris. That's going to take him up to 202. And Microblizz answers right back with a Tetris of his own. But Sharky counters, goes up to 226,000. And Sharky is ahead by 14 now, 10 lines. Knocks down Tetris, goes up back in the lead by 14. Microblizz playing incredibly clean and just needs one more piece to get Tetris ready. He's going to take a conservative single, but knocks down the Tetris, goes up to 277. Sharky now at 271, 6,000 point deficit. And both players off to quite a strong start here. In fact, both of these players are on pace for well over 450k transition. Sharky knocks down another Tetris, goes up to 295. Microblizz starting to get to a little bit of trouble, might try and go for a dirty here. He's going to burn down for a double, holding out for preferably a J to burn out a triple, but doesn't get in. He's going to have to burn this all out. Costs him 4 lines, but he does knock down Tetris after burning another double. So we see that Microblizz is starting to play a little bit conservative here. However, he does know that he does have the line advantage, so conservative play is allowed. Meanwhile, we see Sharky just trying to capitalize on every potential Tetris that he gets. And interestingly enough, didn't place the long bar over there to get Tetris ready. But his Tetris ready now does have a T piece dependency, which he fills in promptly. Nice little single there, holding out for the long bar. Still hasn't gotten it, but there it is. Sharky knocks down Tetris. He extends his lead, goes up to 368. Microblizz ran into a couple of complications, but he resolved it with extreme finesse. And now he's Tetris ready. Looking for preferably an L piece or an I piece to fill in that dependency. Gets an I piece and another one to knock down the Tetris. 365 for Microblizz, 376 for Sharky. Sharky at 95 lines, Microblizz at 84. And they're only separated by just around half a Tetris. Sharky knocks down Tetris, goes up to 405. Microblizz is set up for a Tetris. It's taking, once again, some conservative burns. Goes up to 489. Now Sharky with a rather looking for a J piece over there to go on the left side. Gets the J piece. And now Sharky is Tetris ready. Microblizz running into some complication of his own, is starting to fall behind in pace. Sharky knocks down Tetris, goes up to 430,000. He is 18 lines away from the level 19 transition, in which what happens is the pieces will start to move at 2/3 of a second from top to bottom, and depending on how high or low your stack is, the time might be shorter. So Microblizz now trying to burn this out. Still hasn't scored a Tetris in quite a while, but he's finally set up, just waiting on the long bar. Sharky knocks down another Tetris, 476. And Microblizz finally knocks down Tetris, goes up to 423, only trailing by 2 Tetrises. Sharky knocks down Tetris, is at 499, can knock down one more Tetris till the transition. Microblizz answers right back with a Tetris, 446. Sharky now 3 lines away, and is Tetris ready, knocks down Tetris. He transitions at 525. And he's already starting by cleaning up. Meanwhile, Microblizz still has 18 lines left till transition. And he's now clean, Tetris ready, just waiting on the next long bar. Sharky having to do some burning here. And now he's clean, ready to start building up for Tetrises. Microblizz still holding out for this long bar. And he finally gets it, goes up to 473. Can knock down 3 more Tetrises if he doesn't burn 2 lines. He burns a single. Tetris ready still, knocks down a Tetris, goes up to 497. And now he's getting set up for the Tetris. He's ready for it. He's holding out. Where's the long bar? Long bar isn't coming for him. And now he's going to knock down a Tetris. He's going to transition at 423. So a smaller transition than Sharky. However, Sharky is running into some complications here, trying to have to dig out on level 21. But got some lovely pieces, and with this line clear, he's going to go up to level 22 at 600,000. Microblizz is set up for a clean Tetris, burns a single, and now Microblizz is starting to get a little bit high, so he's going to take a triple, looking for a 3 wide piece, now 2 wide, and the piece isn't coming. He gets an ideal piece, sets up a square tuck over there, Now a level long bar here. Things are looking dangerous. Knocks down Tetris, goes up to 579. Sharky, however, is at 630. And knocks down Tetris, goes up to 659. Very clean build. Nice flat long bar burn over there for Sharky. He's going to burn down a single. Very clean build. Ready for a Tetris. Waiting on the next long bar. Ooh, slight misdrop. He does get the Tetris. Goes up to 690. But now he has to try and burn this out. Meanwhile, Microblizz is clean. Had a slight shift over there. Could have potentially lost Daz, but he knocks down Tetris. Goes up to 619. However, Sharky is up very high. Not sure if he can survive this. He needs to get some pieces over. And now with that long bar dependency, things aren't looking too good for Sharky. He's not able to get anything over to the left. Sharky's going to top out at 696. Microblizz only 50,000 points away. Needs to get to 697. He does have a hole in his stack. Nice T-piece adjustment. Opens up the hole and is now ready to start burning down. Looking for a J-piece. Gets the J. Could potentially see him go up for a row 2 Tetris. And row 2 on level 19 isn't necessarily the easiest thing to maintain. And looks like that might have potentially been a misdrop. He's going to burn out a double, followed up by a triple. And now he's clean. He's now 1 Tetris away from achieving the score that is needed, which was 697. He's set up for a clean right well now. Having to burn off a couple of pieces. And now not choosing to get ready with the long bar. And now he's Tetris ready, just waiting for the long bar. Where is it? And he's looking fine, but ooh, a slight misdrop. And Microblizz is unable to do anything. And he's going to top it at 672, allowing Sharky to take game 1. What a fantastic match, but unfortunately, Microblizz wasn't able to chase down the score despite being behind in lines. They actually, both players had similar transitions, but Sharky just scored just a couple more points in the post-transition than Microblizz. Alright, let's get them started to game number 2 in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Start the game off with both players starting roughly around the same time this time, but Sharky is still a press down player, and so that's why he is going to still eventually end up in the lead in terms of lines. Now Microblizz starting the game off with a Tetris. Sharky not quite Tetris ready. In fact, not getting any of the pieces that he's looking to get Tetris ready with at all. Now Sharky getting up a little bit high, and ooh, already makes a misdrop trying to get the J piece over. Knocks down a Tetris, but needs another I piece to get over there to the left. Gets the I piece over to the left hand side, and now looks like he's actually going to set up a delay burn. Rather clever delay burn actually. Microblizz running into some issues here as well. Both players only with a Tetris on the board, and both players running into some amount of complications. However, Microblizz is going to should be able to get out of this relatively easily. Needs just one more piece to go over there to the left. Gets a square, and now they're Tetris ready. Microblizz knocks down Tetris, goes up to 55,000. Sharky now Tetris ready also goes up to 56,000. So very close game, only separated by just one line, which roughly translates to 900 points. Sharky knocks down Tetris, so does Microblizz, 79 to 78. Microblizz still Tetris ready. Sharky now building up now. Microblizz knocks down Tetris, and Sharky answers right back. We got a very neck and neck game here, but Sharky with an interesting adjustment there. Goes for a tuck, and this is some rather awkward formations going here by Sharky. This is going to cost him some lines. Meanwhile, Microblizz is in prime position to stay clean and continue. Sharky was looking for the J or the L there, didn't quite get it, and is now being forced to continue burning. Might actually see him try, and no, he's just going to burn this out, looking for a T piece, and once again another misdrop. It's going to cost Sharky once again some more. He is set up for a tuck or a spin, and he's going to get the S spin, and now gets a elevated J burn. Now Sharky is still trying to make progress. Didn't get the right piece there. Is going to decide to do some stack sacrificing, and once again Microblizz is now starting to garner up a 100,000 point lead. He's just been playing very clean this entire game. Sharky goes for a T burn, wrong rotation though, and that's going to cost him to set up potentially a dirty Tetris. He's starting to get up a little bit high, and looks like he's going for it. He is down by 100,000 points, so if he tops out now, Microblizz will definitely take game 2. Microblizz at 240,000 now. Sharky at 124. Both players are at the same line count, so Microblizz playing leaps and bounds more efficient than Sharky. Sharky holding out for a couple of pieces and makes another misdrop. Now Sharky is up a little bit higher than what we've seen this entire game. Now he's just going to have to try and figure out how to dig this out. Needs another long bar just to stay safe. Does a little flat S placement there, otherwise known as S flat, and that keeps him good Set up for a dirty row 3 Tetris, and he gets it. Goes up to 158, and now can finally try and burn down score Tetrises from the bottom levels. Looking for a J piece though. Could potentially go set up for a center well here. And ooh, interesting adjustment over there for Sharky. Meanwhile, Microblizz with a misdrop over there on the left-hand side as well. Now it's going to cost him a couple of lines to burn out. However, he does have a lead, so shouldn't be too drastic. Meanwhile, Sharky now getting set up for a Tetris. Knocks down another row 3 Tetris, goes up to 189, closing the gap in back to 100,000 points. Microblizz starting to get up a little bit high. Probably just going to try and focus on burning this down as soon as possible. And lovely pieces for Microblizz. He's going to burn out. Now he's Tetris ready, and Microblizz knocks down Tetris, goes up to 324. Sharky with a row 2 knocks down Tetris, goes up to 214. 110,000 point deficit between both of these players. Looks like Sharky might continue to maintain the row 2 Tetris. Generally, the row 2 is the more difficult Tetris to maintain just because you have to continue to build up column 1. But he burns out of it. Now he's ready to build up for your traditional column 10 Tetrises. And now Microblizz knocks down Tetris, goes up to 351,000. Sharky Tetris ready. Microblizz now clean and is ready to start building up for Tetrises. Does a delay burn with the Z. Would love an L there to kind of burn out that double. Would have been satisfying double to burn out as well. And he's looking for the right piece. Gets the Z. Microblizz and Sharky Tetris ready. Microblizz gets the long bar, and so does Sharky. Almost a simul Tetris, but it's 287 to 378. Sharky just closing the gap little by little. However, he is 5 lines in the lead. Microblizz knocks down another Tetris, goes up to 400,000. Sharky goes up to 310,000. Sharky now Tetris ready. Microblizz trying to get Tetris ready and does need an I piece, and eventually he's going to need a J piece to go over there to the left. And he's going to set up a delay burn with the T piece over there to the right hand side and gets lovely pieces up and burn that out. Sharky ran into some complications, and he has 10 lines before transition, so he's definitely going to want to try and clean this up. Gets some lovely pieces now, sets up a long bar dependency, fills it in, and now has just a couple more lines till transition. Sets up a T piece dependency, fills it in. Now Sharky's Tetris ready for one last Tetris. Sharky's on transition at 367,000. Microblizz now 7 lines away from transition. Is going to go for a couple of interesting burns, and he's now going to have some issues to deal with as soon as he transitions. Sharky now knocks down Tetris, goes up to 393,000. Microblizz with 3 lines left to burn, 2 now. Burns out of double transitions at 477 with a 100,000 point lead upon transitioning. Now Sharky at 395, Tetris ready, starting to get up a little bit high. Burns down for a double, holding out for the long bar. Burns down for a triple, no longer Tetris ready. And long bar comes when they can't use it. Microblizz now got clean. 80,000 point now, only 50,000 point deficit between both players. However, Sharky is ahead in lines by roughly 12 lines, so that's 3 potential Tetrises that Microblizz can get that Sharky would have lost. Sharky now getting up a little bit high, knocks down Tetris, goes up to 461,000. Microblizz at 494, still 30,000 point lead for Microblizz. However, Sharky now having to do some burning here. Looking for some good pieces here. L or J would be friendly to go in that LJ dependency. Now looking for a J piece. Gets an I instead, followed up by an O. Good sequence of pieces. However, Microblizz is starting back to get clean again. Knocks down a Tetris earlier on and is at 525. Sharky goes up to 5, or not 5 just yet, but goes up to 498, 499 now after burning that single. Microblizz is clean, Tetris ready. Sharky now running into some slight amount of complications, just wanting to fill in the left-hand side. And now Sharky is Tetris ready. Microblizz still at 557. Almost Tetris ready, but decides to go for a conservative approach. Sharky burns down a double, knocks down Tetris, goes up to 535, only trailing by 1 Tetris and some change. But Microblizz answers with a Tetris, bringing that disparity back up to 60,000 points. Sharky Tetris ready, knocks down Tetris, goes up to 567,000. Microblizz now having to cover up the well just very slightly. Sharky with an interesting piece placement over there, but nice T-burn, looking for an L or a J. Didn't get either of them in the time that he wanted them. Now needs the L. Doesn't get the L. Forced to place the T piece there. Now he's just being forced to survive now. Trying to burn this out, but he's running out of time. He has 3 levels left to score on. Meanwhile, Microblizz has garnered up, once again, a 50,000 point lead. And he is a full level behind Sharky. 580 to 636. Sharky knocks down Tetris, goes up to 613. Only separated by roughly 25,000 points. Microblizz now just trying to go for a conservative approach, but Sharky with a misdrop over there with the J piece is now going to have to try and figure out how to dig this out He trails by 30,000 points. Microblizz is clean, and he's Tetris ready, holding out for the long bar. It burns down for a double, and that's going to be a dagger, but Tetris goes up to 679. Sharky at 622, just trying to burn out. Has almost made his way all the way down, but is now being forced to set up dependencies. Hangs the eyepiece. It looks like he did a quick tap a little bit too early there, and he's not going to be able to get anything over to the right-hand side. And Sharky tops out at 627, and Microblizz at 716 ties up the series 1-1, similar to what we saw at CTWC 2019. Fantastic match by both of them. Microblizz, of course, had to maintain a very healthy lead the entire game, 100,000 points, but Sharky was starting to come back in the post-transition, getting as close as only one Tetris apart, but then when the misdrop came, he was unable to dig out and allowing Microblizz to secure his victory. Let's go ahead and count them down. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. We have our start from both Microblizz and Sharky. And this is very synonymous to what we saw at CTWC, where both of these players were tied at 1 game apiece. However, unlike this in CTWC, whoever won this game would have advanced. So will Sharky potentially have earned his right to advance back in the tournament, or will he lose again to Microblizz 2-1? Of course, we're still going to go to best of 5, but that's just something interesting to think about. Both players have knocked down 2 Tetrises. Meanwhile, Sharky had to do a couple of burn lines. Meanwhile, Microblizz already knocks down his 3rd. See that Microblizz has been playing much more cleaner at the beginning of the games than Sharky has. Has maintained quite a Tetris streak during these past few games. Meanwhile, Sharky is now Tetris ready. And it's that very calm and collected and consistent play that allowed Microblizz to put up some consistent high scores in this matchup. Anyways, Microblizz sets up a J-piece dependency and is going to set up a long bar dependency, convert it into a well actually, but he doesn't hold out long enough and it's just burned it down. That's a lot of lines that he just gave away to Sharky. And so now they are both at a tie game, only separated by 1,000 points. Sharky knocks down a Tetris, goes up to 123,000. We get a line spin from Sharky, goes to 124. Microblizz is at 125,000. Very some neck and neck gameplay here. Sharky knocks down a Tetris. Microblizz Tetris ready, holding out for the long bar. Still not getting the long bar, so they're gonna go for a conservative single. Holding out for the long bar still. Has the opportunity to burn for a triple if things get dicing. That's what he does. Burns for a triple. 131. Meanwhile, Sharky's at 192. Where Microblizz knocks down a Tetris and knocks down another one. Goes up to 177. Tie game in terms of lines, but score, Sharky is ahead by 1 Tetris, so he does have a true lead this time. And both players are at similar line counts. Sharky apparently not pushing down as much this game as he has in the past. 216,000 for Sharky, 200,000 for Microblizz. Sharky knocks down a Tetris, goes up in the lead by a Tetris and a half. Meanwhile, Microblizz is now a Tetris race, sets up the J-piece dependency, looking for a J. Gets an I piece and a J, so knocks down a Tetris, 223. Sharky at 262. Sharky now trying to, nice adjustment there. Does set up a J piece dependency, but RNG gives him the J. Knocks down a Tetris, is at 285. This time we see Sharky, the one that has some phenomenal pacing going forward. However, Microblizz isn't too far behind, but Sharky is at 308,000 at level, and not level, but at 63 lines. Microblizz having to go for a couple of conservative burns here. Just not getting any ideal pieces to continue to score for Tetrises at such a rapid pace like we saw in previous games. But he is now Tetris ready. He's going to burn for a single. Does have an L piece dependency. And knocks down a double. Followed up by a Tetris. 275 to 354. Sharky Tetris ready. Does get a rather unfortunate Z piece and place it rather awkwardly. He is in position to knock down a Tetris, but not anymore. And now this is Microblizz's chance to catch up. Sharky now having to still burn on top of this hole. Microblizz clean. Tetris ready now. Just waiting on the long bar. Meanwhile, Sharky is just burned out and does a little stack sacrificing. Knocks down the Tetris, goes up to 384. Microblizz still holding out for this long bar. He's been Tetris ready for a while. Sets up an overhang and makes an interesting adjustment. Not sure if he was going to try and spin it there, but now Microblizz is starting to get up a little bit high. Sharky is now continuing to increase his lead. He's Tetris ready at 387. Microblizz now just burning this out very calm and collectively. Burns out a double, looking for an I piece. Burns out a triple. Microblizz is now Tetris ready, holding out for the next long bar, but Sharky has built up a 100,000 point lead, but Microblizz finally knocks down Tetris 337 to 410. Sharky with some beautiful pieces right there. Tetris ready after burning out those 3 lines. Microblizz also Tetris ready, and it's going to be a simul Tetris for Microblizz and Sharky. 436 for Sharky, 360 for Microblizz. Microblizz sets up an L piece of pendency, but fills it in and is Tetris ready. Sharky knocks down Tetris, goes up to 459. Microblizz clean board, starting to get up a little high though. Burns out for a single, knocks down Tetris, goes up to 384. Roughly 30 lines away from transition for both of these players. Sharky now Tetris ready. Microblizz at 407, only trailing by 3 Tetrises. But Sharky makes a slight misdrop here. He could try and go for a roof burn, only spend 1 line burning it out, but it looks like he's going to spend at least 3, now potentially even 4. Now he's looking for a long bar to help him out over here on the left-hand side. It's going to burn down a double. Now Sharky's just going to focus on burning this out. Meanwhile, Microblizz has the potential to catch up. He is Tetris ready. He's going to burn down for a double. Now Microblizz is in a little bit of trouble here. Slight misdrops. He needs another long bar over there to the left, over there to the right. Now he needs to try and dig this out, and he has run out of time. He can still burn this out. Burns out for a single, followed up by another single. Look at that. Making his way down. He does have still a jagged dependency, but fills in. Look, another long bar, followed up by a perfect S. He doesn't get the piece over. If he get a long bar, he might still be able to survive, but he covers up the well. Not sure if he can get anything over to the left. Long bar hangs, and Microblizz is going to top out right as soon as Sharky transitions. So Sharky takes game 3 at 530,000. What a fantastic game by both of them, taking most of these games to transition. Microblizz just got a little bit unfortunate right there and was unable to get the piece all the way over to the left, which led to his unfortunate early end right before transition. But now we go into game 4, the determinant of where Microblizz can force Sharky to a decider, or will Sharky have won this game, or won this match 3-1. All right, let's go ahead and count them down. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. We gotta start from Microblizz. This is a do or die game for him. Game 4. And Sharky right now putting in Microblizz's name in the scoreboard. And we gotta start from him. He's already started off. Microblizz is slightly ahead, just has a lot more placement on board, and very cleanly knocks down his first Tetris. Sharky now Tetris ready as well, and knocks down a Tetris as well. So both players knocking down their first Tetris without having to burn any lines. Microblizz having to burn just a few lines here at the beginning. And now Sharky now having to run into some complications, looking for an L to get Tetris ready with. RNG's not giving him the L. And now Sharky now having to do some more burning here. Similar to what we saw in game 1 or 2, where Sharky just doesn't get off to a good start. But Microblizz having to do just a slight amount of burning as well. Neither player is actually putting up too many points on the board. Microblizz finally knocks down the second Tetris for him. Meanwhile, Sharky's holding out for the right pieces. Gets a long bar. Now Sharky is Tetris ready and knocks down a Tetris and goes up to 56,000. But Microblizz with a very interesting situation. Not sure what happened there, but he should be able to get very lovely S-burn right there. Looks like he might be... No, he's just going to burn it all out and start from scratch. Sharky also with some smart and clever burns. Both players almost at the identical line count, separated by a triple. And now they're ready to start scoring for Tetrises. Microblizz, Tetris ready. Sharky knocks down next Tetris, goes up to 85,000. Very rough start for both players at the beginning of the game. And Microblizz with another misdrop. He's going to go just try and burn this down. Gets a lovely L, followed up by a T. Now, where's the I piece to give this man a Tetris? And there it is. Microblizz goes up to 102. Sharky at 109. This time, Microblizz is ahead in lines. Has been burning lines at more of a rapid pace than Sharky. Sharky now goes for a Z-spin. Hits the Z-spin after that nice little delay burn with the Z. Knocks down Tetris, goes up to 134, but Microblizz answers right back, 127. But Sharky counters as soon as Microblizz knocks down Tetris. It goes up to 157, 30,000 point difference. And Sharky with an interesting little misdrop there is going to have to try and find some way to burn this out in the most efficient manner. And he's going to first open up the well. At least he can score Tetris, and that's exactly what happens. Sharky goes up to 183. Microblizz follows at 153 and knocks down another Tetris, goes up to 176, separated by less than half a Tetris. Meanwhile, Sharky does have to do a slight amount of burning. Microblizz Tetris ready, but he passes up on the Tetris there. Not sure if he saw it, but he passed up on Tetris, allowing Sharky to extend his lead. 209 for Sharky, 176 for Microblizz. Microblizz now at 177, starting to get up a little bit high, needs to try and burn this down. Has a very concerning left. Gets the square over and knocks down a Tetris, goes up to 202, trailing by 31,000 points now. And now very nice little flat J placement. Microblizz is Tetris ready, but so is Sharky. Both players actually seeing not a lot of long bars here. In fact, Microblizz having to burn down 207 now for Microblizz. Sharky finally knocks down Tetris, goes up to 260. Microblizz still enduring this drought, covers up the well, sets up a what looks like it could have been a clever delay burn, but now he needs the long bar. Gets the long bar with like one more. Set up for a dirty Tetris, gets the long bar for a dirty center well Tetris, goes up to 235. Meanwhile, Sharky is at 286. Well, these players not necessarily too high scores, but they're both playing clean. They're both alive. Microblizz set up for a clean stack, waiting on the long bar. Burns down for a single. Still waiting on this long bar. Got droughted once and it appears he's getting droughted again. Burns for a triple. Where's the long bar for Microblizz? Burns out for another single. There it is. Finally knocks down a Tetris. Goes up to 266. Sharky at 316. 50,000 point lead for Sharky. And he does have a eyepiece dependency. Looks like he's actually going to go for center well this time. Trying to avoid burning many lines, and doing center well is one way to do that. However, it looks like he is having to burn a couple of lines here, but now he's Tetris ready. Microblizz at 293, closing the gap, now 30,000 points. However, he is in the lead by 4 lines. Sharky Tetris ready for a center well. Microblizz Tetris ready for a right well. Sharky knocks down a center well Tetris. Gets Tetris ready at 343. Microblizz still holding out for this long bar, but he knocks down Tetris, goes up to 319. And now we're nearing the transition. Sharky knocks down Tetris, goes up to 370. And this is do or die for Microblizz. He is down by 30,000 points and is ahead by roughly a Tetris. So he's going to have to outscore Sharky in the post-transition, or hope that Sharky has an early top out so he's not able to realize his full score potential. But nice couple of burns by Sharky. Looking for preferably a T or a ZP. Ooh, very nice burn. And Sharky is clean, knocks down a Tetris and goes up to 398. We can see a 400k transition. Microblizz goes to 389. And just like that, he's closed the gap to just half a Tetris. Sharky now trying to transition with a Tetris, building up aggressively, holding out for the next long bar. Will it come? He still holds it out. Burns for a double. Can he get it? Microblizz transitions at 390. Sharky transitions at 424. This is it. It all comes down to who survives. Sharky knocks down another Tetris, goes up to 449. Microblizz now having to do some burning here. Needs an L piece to get over there to the left-hand side. L piece isn't coming, so he just goes for a little bit of a delay burn. Burns for a double using the square and opens it up. And now he just needs to open up this one hole. Does so. Needs 2 J's, and RNG gives it to him. And now he's ready and he's clean. He just needs an eyepiece now. Trying to avoid building up the eyepiece dependency, but still had to. Sharky getting up a little bit high, looking for the right piece. He now needs a long bar to help him burn this down. Gets the square over to the left, burns down for a double. Where's the long bar? Burns down for a triple, and knocks down a Tetris. Sharky goes up to 491. Meanwhile, Microblizz still running into some trouble. Gets the long bar, is going to burn down a single, and burns down for a double. Would love one more long bar, going to prolong it. And now still holding out for the right piece, burns down for a double, and just like that, Microblizz is back at the bottom of the board, but he's down by 60,000 points, and Sharky is not continuing to stop scoring. In fact, now Sharky is starting to build up. He's almost Tetris ready, just needs a 3-wide piece. And now Sharky's Tetris ready. Microblizz with a very high eyepiece hang there. He's got to maneuver pieces over, but I'm not sure if he can get anything quite over. He has 2 long bar dependencies set up, fills in one of them, but needs another one, and RNG's not giving them the long bar. And Microblizz is going to burn a triple, but he's going to top out at 454,000, allowing Sharky to take Game 4, winning this rematch set. Sharky finally got his revenge on Microblizz, able to win 3-1, showing that he has improved by significant margins from the first time they met. That's going to do it for this set, but we have one more hype game for you guys, and it's when Sharky and Microblizz go all out to really show that they are some exceptional players. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to could have potentially been your Game 5 between Microblizz and Sharky. And I promise you, this is going to be a hype matchup. We've seen both of these players play some excellent, always get to transition Tetris just about today. And so what can make Game 5 any exception? Anyways, to start the game off with Microblizz, already knocks down his first Tetris. Smart burn over there by Sharky. He's at 700 now, goes up to 23,000 points. Just a slight lead because of one burned line. Microblizz makes a small adjustment, but is now Tetris ready. Both players playing off clean. Sharky knocks down a second Tetris. Microblizz sets up a Z-spin or potentially a T-tuck opportunity and doesn't do the rotations early enough for that Z-spin. So Microblizz now finally, even with Sharky on lines, Sharky's going to knock down the Tetris, goes up to 70,000. Microblizz clean flat board here. Sets up a delay burn over there on the left with the Z piece. Not sure if I quite agree with that, but he does do away with it very well. Sets up a ST dependency over there on the left. Has a very jagged board, not real accommodating. Sharky goes up to 95,000. Meanwhile, Microblizz is at 74. Now Microblizz just having to do a lot of burning here. Sharky with a very creative setup here is going to burn down for a triple. Is now going to start rebuilding. He's now Tetris ready. Microblizz looking for good pieces. Looking for one more J or an I piece to burn this out and start building up for your traditional right wheel setup. Gets the L piece. And now he's Tetris ready almost. Just has to get another J piece to go over there in column 8. Doesn't get the J piece. Still holding out for it. And is just being forced to burn now. Waiting for the J piece and it never came. Decides to cover it up with an L. Gets the J piece that time. And now has an LJ dependency. Fills it in with an S. And now Microblizz is now starting to fall behind. Sharky's garnered up almost 100,000 point lead. However, he is slightly ahead on lines as he is pushing down. But he's Tetris ready and Sharky knocks down Tetris. Goes up to 215,000. Microblizz just really struggling here just to get too many Tetrises on the board. Sharky knocks down another Tetris. Goes up to 238. Microblizz now running into a little bit of complications. Might see him actually go for a dirty Tetris. He's set up for one. Will he get the long bar for it though? Yes, he does. Knocks down dirty Tetris. Goes up to 137. 100,000 point deficit. And now Sharky knocks down another Tetris. Goes up to 262. Close game so far. Well, not necessarily close game, but very good job on Microblizz's end. Being able to survive all the pieces that he were given. Microblizz now at 163. Sharky at 268. So 100,000 point deficit still. Sharky knocks down Tetris and Microblizz follows. Doesn't want to set up the long bar dependency and could have potentially have filled it in, got Tetris ready a little bit sooner, but he's still going to knock down Tetris. Microblizz at 208. Now it's starting to come back just a little bit, but Sharky is still maintaining Tetris rate. Each time Microblizz scores the Tetris, Sharky does as well. Now Sharky Tetris ready, so is Microblizz, but Microblizz has a couple of jagged dependencies, not able to capitalize on that long bar. Sharky knocks down Tetris, goes up to 337. Very healthy lead right here. And goes for a line spin to keep his board clean. And Sharky is now at 340,000. Sets up a tuck or a spin. And he's holding out for the right piece. He's going to go for the spin. Hits it. Goes up to 364. Microblizz at 235. Tetris ready. Holding out for the long bar. Knocks down a Tetris. Goes up to 258. Still 100,000 point deficit. Had an opportunity to potentially burn out sooner. But now has a J piece dependency after knocking down a Tetris. Goes up to 281. Sharky now sets up a long bar dependency. This could be slightly problematic. Now Sharky set up for a couple of interesting delay burns. Not sure how he's going to resolve this. And this is Microblizz's opportunity to catch back up. Knocks down Tetris, goes up to 305. Sharky's still in this burn. He's going to go for an interesting little tuck there. Not going to burn for the double. He's going to burn for a double right there. Holding out for the right piece. Burns out a single. Followed up by a double. Now looking for an L or a J. Microblizz still at 329 now. Sharky with a rather unfortunate placement there. Still having to do some burning here. Gives a lovely long bar. Followed up by a T. Wow, great pieces for Sharky there. And now he's clean. Microblizz knocks down Tetris. Close the gap. Now 50,000 points separated. Sharky is still 4 lines in the lead. Microblizz is Tetris ready. Has a clean board. Sharky needs a long bar. Gets a long bar. Burns out a single. He's ready to start scoring for Tetris again. Microblizz and Sharky knock down Tetris. 375 to 427. Microblizz now almost Tetris ready. Does have a J piece dependency over there on the left-hand side. Is going to have to deal with it eventually. Knocks down a Tetris. Goes up to 399. Sharky now at 451,000. Both players separated by just around 50,000 points. Microblizz holding out for the right pieces. And lovely J right there is going to burn down a double. Needs another one. And potentially is setting up for... Yes, he is. He's setting up for the column 9. center wheel Tetris. Will he get the long bar in time though? We see him in this matchup wait for the long bar. Doesn't get it, and he does, but he makes a bad adjustment. And Microblizz with a couple of misdrops now running into a little bit of trouble. He's still got 18 lines till transition for him. Meanwhile, Sharky's at 498,000, can score 2 more Tetrises before transition. And Microblizz now at 429,000, and he's clean, has 9 lines till transition. Sharky holding out for one last Tetris, is going to burn down for a double, keep it safe. Now Sharky transitions at 547,000, 100,000 point lead right now. Meanwhile, Microblizz holding out for the right pieces. He might be holding out a little bit too long, looking for a J. He's going to tuck the J right underneath there. Does have an L piece dependency, and things aren't looking too good for Microblizz. He's starting to stack up a little bit high. It's going to burn out a double followed up by another double, looking for an L piece. Now he's going to burn out another double or a single, followed up by a double. He transitions and gets the Tetris in the transition. 463,000. Sharky is at 601. Microblizz is going to have to really go ham here in the post-transition order to come back from Sharky's score. Sharky now having to do some burning here. This is Microblizz's opportunity to at least shave a little bit off the score. Microblizz is Tetris ready and knocks down Tetris. He goes up to 492,000. Meanwhile, Sharky is at 605. He's still having to do some burning. Gets the long bar all the way over to the left-hand side. Burns out a double, still navigating through this, needs another J or an I piece to go over there to the left. Burns out a single, followed up by, or a double followed up by a single. Now Sharky is clean, and he's almost Tetris ready now. Microblizz is able to get to 500,000, but Sharky finally knocks down Tetris. Microblizz goes to 523, Sharky at 640, still 100,000 point deficit. Sharky now still having to burn out some lines, but now he's Tetris ready, waiting for the next long bar. Microblizz knocks down, Tetris goes up to 649. Sharky now Tetris ready, still holding out for the long bar, is being forced to burn down some. Microblizz now had an interesting middle sub. He might be going up for a center wheel here, and he's getting ready for the right pieces. Interesting setup. Now he has a center wheel Tetris set up. Will he get the long bar for it though? Yes, he does, and he gets the well transfer. It goes up to 581, but Sharky is still at 677. Not able to utilize that long bar. Is going to go ahead and burn down for a single. Still can't utilize that long bar, but can utilize that one. Goes up to 709. He is on max out pace. Meanwhile, Microblizz is just a Tetris underneath max out pace, but he can easily get back on if he's able to knock down Tetris after Tetris. But his left side is looking a little bit dangerous. Barely gets the long bar over, knocks down Tetris, goes up to 638,000. Meanwhile, Sharky is at 713. And looks like Sharky is trying to go for an S-spin there, trying to hopefully help build it. He knocks down Tetris, but he does have some stuff to build out. Meanwhile, Microblizz is starting to catch up. He's down by only 70,000 points. So Sharky is in the middle of the dig. Microblizz now trying to burn this out. Gets a T-piece. Now looking for one more piece to stack up for a Tetris. He's going to burn down for a double. Creates a long, or not long, but a J piece dependency. Knocks down Tetris. Goes up to 702. 50,000 point deficit. And Microblizz is behind in lines as Sharky was pressing down earlier in 18. Sharky goes to level 26 at 758. Microblizz knocks out Tetris, goes up to 735. They're separated by one Tetris. Sharky now almost Tetris ready, but he's trying to avoid set up the long bar. Piece has a long bar dependency. Needs a good piece to go over there in the center. Gets it. Meanwhile, Microblizz now starting to run into some difficulties, trying to get the right piece. Oh no, he hangs the piece. Can he get a piece over to the left? And it looks like he might not be able to. Starting to get up high and not able to get anything over. Microblizz is going to top out at 739, which means Sharky takes the game. 771,000 at level 27. Fantastic match and fantastic games by Microblizz and Sharky. What you love to see here in Classic Tetris Competitive. Anyway, Sharky's going to play this out to kill screen. Could potentially get 2 more Tetrises here. And it looks like he's going to try and set up. He's looking for preferably an L piece. He's going for a drastic center well. Burns a single. Can get 1 more Tetris after this. And he's trying to get set up, builds up a long bar dependency, and Sharky goes to kill screen at 889. What a fantastic matchup by Sharky and Microblizz. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic 5-game, technically, matchup between Microblizz and Sharky comes to a conclusion. Sharky wins 3-1 with the additional 1 game that we had to throw in there because it was too good to not throw in there. So Sharky is finally redeemed, and now I can stop talking in third person because I am done commentating. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. I've been waiting to try and have some time to sit down to edit this video and do post commentary on it because it truly was one that I wanted to upload. I've been talking about how I wanted to rematch Microblizz for the longest time because, to be honest, whenever I lost him at CTWC, it was devastating because it wasn't necessarily like he beat me kind of thing. It was more like I beat myself kind of thing. And those are kind of the worst feelings to have ever. So thank you for Microblizz to allow me to have the matchup between him, as well as thank you for GuardianPsycho, who did the live commentary at the time of this, because I wouldn't be able to do commentary like that as well as play at the time of this, just because of the way that my setup is. But who knows, it might happen in the future, maybe. Anyways, if you liked the video and you like seeing me and Microblizz duke it out again, just like a rematch from CTWC 2019, then leave a like. Comment down, who did you think was going to win at the beginning? Were you rooting for any player in particular, or did you just want to see some good Tetris? And who do you want me to go up against next? Share with your friends. Even though it is quite a lengthy video, I think they might find competitive Tetris quite interesting, and you never know, they might get into it themselves. And last but not least, while all the videos on my channel aren't about me getting a rematch against people I lost to in the World Championships, there's still plenty of content on my channel and plenty more to come. And if you like it, why not stick around for a bit? Anyways, my name is Michael, better known as ITZsharky, and I'll see you all later.